Thank you, Ramesh, for giving us time, and welcome to the New Indian Express Sports Talk.
My pleasure.
Yeah, as we all know, you're one of the finest chess coaches, especially in India and even abroad. So, can you just take us, the evolution of the sport in Chennai and in the country? How it has evolved over the years. Maybe
Okay.
in the last decade or so, it's become quite famous nowadays. Like a lot of people are following it, and then even online they're following.
Yeah,
And
the profile of the game, as you mentioned, has gone up significantly. Yeah, so if you see, chess originated in India, it was called Chaturangam, probably around the 5th or 6th century. And then when the Arabs moved to Persia, they took chess from here to Persia, and subsequently from Persia it went to Europe. And then the modern rules were framed. There were some significant changes in the rules. It happened while the game was being played in Europe, and subsequently the Russians, then the Soviet Union, when the Cold War was happening with the US, they wanted to create some intelligent population. So they felt like through chess we can create an intelligent population, and they can excel in other fields as well. Taking this intelligence to other field, they can be better than the US. So that's how chess got state patronage in Soviet Union, and as a result, chess was taught everywhere to the general public through schools and clubs. And most of the world champions, majority of them, they are from the former Soviet Union. And when in 91 the Soviet Union broke, most of the players or many of the top players and trainers, they moved to other countries, especially to Europe and US, and they started sharing their training methods, their knowledge, expertise with the. That's when chess became accessible to non-Russian population. Around this time, in India also, they started chess club. The Soviet Union had a very friendly relationship with India, and as a result, they started 4 chess clubs in India, in all the metros: Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, and Chennai. And in Chennai, it was called the Michael Tal Chess Club, where young Anand, he used to go there regularly and play, and it helped in his chess growth immensely. And subsequently, he became India's first grandmaster in 1988. And prior to that, around 20 years earlier, we had from Chennai, Mr. Manuel Aaron. He became India's first international master. He's also from Chennai. So India's first international master and the grandmaster, they both were from Chennai. So you can say it had a very positive impact in the Chennai and Tamil Nadu population. And more young children started taking up the game, and I was one of them. So I was 12 years old. I took to chess when Anand became grandmaster. And since then, he became world champion for 5 times. And every time he did, it gave a major boost to the popularity of the game. More and more people started coming to chess. So now we have a very large chess playing population, and our youngsters are doing phenomenally well at the international level. And during the COVID lockdown, because people were could not restricted to their home environment, chess became very popular online. So more YouTube channels, Twitch channels, they started emerging and kept the chess players engaged. And we also started having online tournaments. So earlier, online tournaments were not popular because there were some apprehensions that some online cheating could be possible. Technology could be used to cheat. But the current world champion Magnus Carlsen, or the previous year's world champion Magnus Carlsen, he himself brought good money to the game, and also he played in these tournaments himself, online tournaments, and they became a rage. So chess profile online has seen phenomenal increase, and also in Netflix there was a series, Queen's Gambit, and as a result, chess in Europe and US saw a significant boost, and many countries have reported like the number of chess sets being sold has gone up like 5 to 10 times, and I can also see the possible outcome.
yeah, so I mean, like you said, demand has increased. So has the demand on coaches also increased? Because I think
Yes, there are
you are
more and
spending,
more.
yeah, you're spending a lot of time abroad also on
Yes. More and more young children are taking to the game, and as a result, they are looking for good trainers. And India is kind of seen as the powerhouse of chess, and everyone, including the world champions, everyone agrees that chess is the India's future of for chess. So this is where the future world champions are going to come from. So this is very healthy in a way, but it has also raised the bar very high for the young children. And we have had some very players like Gukesh or Prag. They became international masters at the age of 10 and grandmaster at the age of 12. And this has raised the bar too high, and it's also not possible for every child to meet these kind of expectations. So there are some related issues as well. Yeah, but the game of
Does it exert a lot of pressure on the
Immense.
children, especially the emerging players?
yes,
And
so,
on the coach as well.
yeah. So earlier, what used to happen is like it is the child who likes the game, takes to the game. They learn the game either from the family or from neighbors, and they start showing more interest. And then the parents notice, and then they engage them in chess. They take them to tournaments, and at some point they go for training and so on. But currently, what is happening more and more is the parents like chess, and they read about all these young children doing well, and they want their children to do well as well. So the parents are taking the initiative and bringing children to the game. So sometimes what can happen is the children's heart is not in the game, but they are doing it because their parents are supporting. So usually in the long run, this will not work very well. So I would strongly recommend to the parents that the children's passion should be the deciding factor, not the parents' ambitions. And it's also important not to have same kind of expectation from every child. And every parent thinks that child is very smart and brilliant. There's no harm in that. But when we project these expectations on the children, it could be a huge burden on the children. And they could lose confidence and start feeling guilty when they don't meet these expectations.
It's same as studies.
Yes. So it should come from the heart of the child. Usually then it works.
Yeah, when you talk of a child, so what did you see in Praggnanandha when he first came to you?
Yeah, when we started working probably like 9 or 10 years ago, one thing is like he was already a good player in the sense he was, I believe, world under 8 champion. But under 8, there is generally not much competition, but he was also 8, just like every other child. So he was already a world champion in under 8. And back then, his sister Vaishali, elder sister Vaishali, was stronger than Prag. She had probably like 200 or 300 points above Prag. But with both of them, they learned from Bloom Chess Academy before they came to me. So they have done a really good job with these two children. One thing is they have right work ethics, I would say. That is, their heart was in the game. They both really loved chess, and they both were extremely ambitious. They wanted to be the world champion, and talented also, very talented. But talent is something like which is available in abundance. It's not such a rare phenomenon. And but this passion, extraordinary passion, the hardworking ability, and the willingness to pay the price. Usually, what happens, like when people pursue excellence in some field, they are focused largely on the target. They want to get it by any means. So they miss out on the learning process. So to learn chess effectively, they have to do certain things. They have to go through a process, and the process is more important than the outcome. Yeah, so only if they go through the process in the proper way, they will make significant improvement in their strength, which will guarantee good results in the long run. So they both were from the young age very focused in the process. So no wonder they are doing quite well.
Yeah, and coming to Praggnanandha's game at this World Cup, how do you see it as a coach, and is he in touch with you before games?
We are in touch with WhatsApp. I was doing a camp in Sweden with former world champion Magnus Carlsen's club. He has a club in Norway, and I'm working with them to create a chess ecosystem and a training culture in the Nordic countries. So we have camps every few months, and this camp was pre-arranged months in advance, so I couldn't cancel it. And I also tell Prag to be very independent. He should not be dependent on anyone for his chess preparations during major tournaments. And the last 2 years we have worked a lot in this direction. So now he is very independent. He can take care of himself. He can take major decisions like which openings I should play, what should be my approach, how to manage his time. He's doing all this by himself largely. We keep in touch through WhatsApp. When he is playing the games, I'm generally watching it online and checking it with powerful computers. So, and I'm also, we have a cloud database where I store all this information. So when he finishes the game and comes to the room, he will have ready access to it. Yeah, I'm remotely trying to help him as much as I can, but he's largely on his own.
Yeah, like you was talking about creating a base in the Nordic countries. So is that new? And vis-a-vis, if you compare it with a place like Chennai or Tamil Nadu, where you find a lot of chess players, a lot of interest among the children.
Yeah.
In India, which are the pockets you see are really doing well, or the children are interested in the sport rather than the parents interested in the sport?
So largely in the south, interest for chess it was always there, especially Chennai and Tamil Nadu. I would say it is probably still the chess capital in terms of talent that is being generated, and even Andhra and Telangana, when they were together, Andhra Pradesh, they were doing quite well. If you see among the women top players, Koneru Hampi and Harika, and also Hari Krishna, they were all from Andhra Pradesh. Back then, Chandrababu Naidu, when he was chief minister, he brought some policies which were very pro-chess. At that time, chess saw a huge boom in Andhra Pradesh. Relatively, Kerala, I would say, not very proactive in terms of chess. They have some very strong players like S.L. Narayan and G.N. Gopal, but sadly, they were not supported, they were not given the backing they deserved. In Karnataka, Bangalore, chess is picking up. The state association is quite active. They are having large number of tournaments happening, which was not the case probably like 7 years ago. Chess was not very popular in Bangalore, but now it's getting better. Maharashtra chess is reasonably popular, like Mumbai and Pune especially, Nagpur. These three cities are doing well. West Bengal, Kolkata is also another major powerhouse. Orissa is also doing well, Bhubaneswar. They have some very active chess association, and some good trainers are also coming up from there. And in the other places like say Delhi is also reasonably doing well. But otherwise, in many states there is huge potential. Chess can be grown further in other states, I feel.
In Tamil Nadu, is it because of the culture? Is it because the sport is being played here for a longer time?
I would say a lot of factors why chess is doing so well in Tamil Nadu and Chennai. One, as I mentioned, the first top players in India, Manuel Aran and Anand, their influence. And we have a very proactive chess association. They are conducting tournaments very regularly, very active chess federations. So you need a lot of tournaments for the players to play, compete and learn. That is there. And we have many chess clubs and academies. I think this is also very important because it is through these clubs and academies children are learning the game after they come out of the school. So probably Chennai alone has more than 100 chess clubs and academies. So large number of children are learning the game on a daily basis. And also regarding chess literature, we had a Chessmate. This was the only Indian company which was selling chess products, and it was based in Chennai. So we could just go to the shop and get books when it was not possible for players from other states. So I would say all these factors put together.
Like you're talking about spending time, screen time, watching movies on mobiles. So now we have seen there's been a trend where children are used to watching a lot of movies or whatever the programs on mobiles, and parents are really worried about that. So does this particular habit affects their game of chess as well?
Yeah, very much. So I have worked with children 20 years ago. I have worked with some of the players who are senior nowadays, when they were very young kid, I worked with them. So, and I have seen the attention span of the children declining over a period of time. So the attention span of the current generation of children is probably 1/10 or 1/20th. I mean, 20% of what it was, say, a child of the same age 10-15 years ago. So the children are getting access to a lot of screen time. So be it television, they are watching serials, movies, and so on, or they are having their own phones or tablets or laptop computers and so on. So they are watching a lot of serials. They are very active in social media, chatting with friends, and they are also playing video games. And I have seen many chess players who are addicted to video games, and very smart children who could have become very strong players, but because they could not retrain, they could not control their cravings, they gave in and they became also runs.
So you're talking about attention span. So that
Yes.
attention span, how does it reflect in your game?
Because what is happening, all this basically, like if you go back around 20-25 years ago, there was no mobile phone, internet, and all this in our lives. So all the input information we were exposed to were coming from other human beings. So we were looking at human beings,
Interacting more with
talking
people.
to human beings, playing with human beings, and we will not have a roller coaster of emotions on a daily basis. Like our emotions were more or less stable. So, but now when you see a movie, let's say, or a serial, they make sure it has all kinds of emotions. It makes you smile, it makes you happy, it makes you sad, it makes you angry and jealous. So all your emotions are fed on a very intense emotional level. So we bring out all these emotions at, like, even when you play a video game, suddenly it's like we lose. Oh my God, I lost, right? So we are constantly engaging with our emotions at a peak level. They give a spike to our emotions. So as a result, what happens when the emotions settle down, when they stop the game, let's say, there is a craving for that spike in emotions. It's like
And you
we
go
are
back
sugar
again.
addiction,
So you go back
coffee
to that
addiction.
again.
So you are addicted to your emotions. So you want your emotions to be always at the peak, some kind of peak emotion. So basically, the children are like feeling strange when things are quiet and calm. And to play chess, our mind should be quiet and calm. And that's when the concentration is at its peak. And they feel very uncomfortable when their mind is quiet. And as a result, the learning abilities have gone down. They always want direct action in everything they do, and which is not possible in chess. Most of the action is happening within the head when we are thinking, when we are analyzing. And this the children find very difficult. So that makes them poor learners, I would say.
Yeah. So then, like, is there any age? Is there any age when you peak? I'm talking about in chess. Is there any age, like for example, Praggnanandha, is he peaking right now, or is there a lot of chess left in him? Or sometimes some chess players will peak, say, around 20s or early 20s, and some peak during their teenage. So, is there any specific, like in power sport,
Yeah, I
we know they
understand.
peak little late,
Yeah.
or in sprint, we know that they peak around 18 to 25, 24.
Yeah, I
in
understand.
swimming. So,
So this is very hard to say in chess, because in a physical sport, every human being around the world, be it anywhere from the world, when we are young teenagers, our muscles are not strong, our bones have not grown fully. So it's very difficult to excel in physical sport when you are young. The strength is not there, the power is not there, and the experience is not there. So that comes probably after 18 plus. So that's when you see probably everyone gets into the cricket team, and all that happens
even
much
the
later.
records are broken, especially in
Yes,
swimming.
at a
and
later age.
sprint.
And in chess, when I came to chess, I started at 12, which was quite reasonable back then. And I became an international master at the age of 19. And it was at that time the youngest in India. So when someone becoming an international master at 19, they said like he became an IM at a such young age. So people were doing it probably in the early 20s, and they're becoming grandmasters after they become 30 years old. This was the norm. But now we see children like Prag and Gukesh, they became international masters at the age of 10. So when Prag became an IM, it was the world record back then. He was the youngest in the world to become an IM. It was at 10. And he became a grandmaster at the age of 12, which
Second
was
youngest.
second youngest in the world at the time. And within few months, Gukesh broke both the records. And within few months, another child, Abhimanyu Mishra from US, he broke Gukesh's record. So these three children, in a very short span of time, broke each other's record. But they also have shown that excellence is possible at a very young age in chess, because you don't need the physical strength, because the bone muscle strength is not required, just the intellectual strength is required. And these children have shown that the young human brain can be very powerful, as good or if not better than an adult brain.
Nurtured at very young age.
Yes. So I believe like probably around 5 or 6 would be a good time to learn the game.
Don't you think Prague also by age of 28, 30 will also lose interest in?
It's very much possible. Like the fatigue can set in. Like if you eat idli every day for breakfast, you will soon may start hating idli. It's very much possible because he is playing chess from a very young age and he has been practicing a lot. He's seeing like breathing chess basically,
Yeah.
eating chess, sleeping chess, walking chess. So it is possible then.
But he seems to be very cool even after the games we've been analyzing.
No, it's cool
When he
because
speaks.
usually when all this will
Things is just
like,
matter of fact. Way.
it will take its toll when you intensely
Highest level. When you play.
devoted yourself to one thing. How long you can do that? I'm also curious. I just hope we can continue longer because we can see like Magnus Carlsen, who is the current world champion, is 32 years old and he has already lost interest in standard time control. He said like he is playing this because World Cup he has never won. So it's like one
Challenge.
box missing in his house, one cupboard missing, one trophy missing. So that's why he's playing, not because he likes playing this time control. He hates playing in standard time control. And being the world champion, he is 32. He doesn't like to play this format. He wants to play shorter time controls. So that's what intense chess has done to him. So everyone reacts in their own ways. And I hope I can withstand this longer.
Yeah, I think hopefully very soon we'll see him as the world champion.
Hopefully.